How's it going, everybody? This is Helen Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I am a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman podcast.
Okay, we're here now today, and today is our number 12 podcast. We're here with a very special guest, Helen Stokes, my mother, better known as Helen Haney. She stands at 6'5".
Martin, give it Ellie.
Ellie Stokes.
The whole world doesn't know about Helen. I know about Helen myself.
We're here today with our number 12 podcast, and we have a very special guest, Ellie Stokes, my mother, better known as Ellie Haney, as she calls herself when she gets drunk.
You know that.
So we're going to have a chat with her now, and she's going to give a small bit of a life story here to the countryman here, yeah? He's going to be asking her a couple of random questions. As long as he doesn't get carried away and maybe get himself through out the door, yeah? For being over excessive, yeah? So I'm going to hand it over to Dean now, yeah? She'll allow you to talk. She won't bite you, right? She had a bit of a fighting reputation years ago, right? But she doesn't do that now. She hung up the gloves about 30 years ago.
Is that true?
So, yeah.
Ellie? Is we call Ellie?
Big Ellie.
Well, my name is Ellie, but I had to go by Helen myself because I called an ugly name, Ellie.
You don't like the name Ellie?
No.
Why?
I never liked it.
It's an awful thing.
Who called you Ellie?
Well, no, but I don't know.
Her parents,
everybody.
naturally.
Because when I myself, I'm going into the clinic around where the doctor and give Helen.
Well, it's obviously her parents called her Ellie.
Yeah.
But it's an awful thing to live with a name for 73 years and then tell somebody you don't like it. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you not open your mouth and tell them?
That's why she doesn't call herself.
Did you not open your mouth and tell them, I don't like that name?
She couldn't. She was an infant.
I would have.
She was a baby.
So let's start at the start. This is episode 12. Helen, so we do a podcast. It's called A Traveller and a Countryman.
Yeah.
Now, I played you a bit of the podcast earlier on, and there's a few episodes I played you. One of them was an episode called Family, and it was Martin talking about you and his daddy and how you met and how your wedding was drew down and how you got a black eye from a fella who threw a stone at you.
My brother-in-law, he was only a Gosson, he was.
He was only
a Gosson.
But no one knew that until she told us.
Only a young lad, the day I got married.
Say the word slowly. What's the word?
Gossoon, is it?
Gossoon. Yeah, he's only a Gossoon.
Gossoon is a boy.
So the day I got married...
My father sent us home, me and my sister.
Yeah.
And we had a horse and cart, and of course I was driving home, the horse, and there was little bushes going along.
Was anyone with you, no?
Mary, my sister Mary got it. And he was in the ditch and firing out stones, but he fired a stone at the horse. But it was me going down.
He thought she was the horse.
My eye came out with my...
You're saying your man's a head like a horse, is that what you're saying?
That was the birthday present I got. Yeah. The marriage wedding present.
You had a good aim, hadn't he?
So, I only just said that to you so you'd relax because you were a little bit nervous when we came here. You thought we were taking over your caravan.
Oh, I know about the caravan.
So we're here
we have to go over the caravan, yes.
We're here in Helen's caravan in St. Margaret's Park.
And Helen's caravan, isn't it?
Helen's caravan.
I said Hell's.
Oh, Hell's
Talk
kitchen.
Up there a little bit, Dean,
We're in Helen's caravan in St. Margaret's Park. And this is the first kind of live podcast we're doing that's not in the studio.
Sort of, yes.
It's our second one with a guest. It's our first one with a lady or a woman guest. Last week we had a fella on. He was the first guest we had on. You're the second guest. Right. You're the first lady.
She's a lady. She's the first one.
Whoa. Who's that? Who sees that?
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
Yeah. She's a lady.
Whoa. It's going to be closing time tonight before you go home with the wedding carrying on.
No, we're just loosening up. There's
I don't mind. I'm even alright.
Are you a singer as well?
I had to go to bed until 3, 4 in the morning.
Dean, it's what time now? It's around 7 now, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
We better get her. She's in good form now for talking.
So we're loosening her up.
We will have a good shower before she gets the drinks out.
Yeah.
What drinks?
When she gets the drinks out, she's going to put us.
I cannot think of a bad liver.
You have a bad liver?
Yeah.
And you've been up till 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, I watch television. I love watching the films. Yeah, true movies.
What do you watch?
All true movies.
True movies, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Helen McDonough.
Stokes.
Helen Stokes. Haney. Helen Stokes, Haney, McDonough. You've about 15 names.
Well,
Martin done that.
I done that to her. She's Helen Stokes now, naturally, she's married.
Yeah.
She was McDonough before she got married. Her mother was Haney before she got married. My grandmother got her.
I'm taking notes. I'm writing all this down because I'm going to forget now.
We put the 4 names on her. Helen, Helen Haney Stokes McDonough.
Do you know if I'm getting letter back from the fair countries?
Yeah.
It comes back Haney, McDonough, Stokes, Helen.
Yeah.
When you get a letter from the far countries, what are you talking about the far countries?
I'll tell you why. You know the poor children?
Yeah.
Send on a few bob to them and they get the letters back.
Ah, very good.
You see. And that's what the Merton done to me.
She's not a big...
But I don't know what Merton does to me.
No,
Go on here, Martin. You shut up now for a second. Martin, shut up.
I'll tell you what he does to me. And another thing I'm going to tell you, I was going to tell you a while ago there. Is this on?
This is on, yeah, we're on.
About maybe every week, Merton might ring me if he doesn't come down. You know what I mean? And he says to me, Sister Ellie, how are you getting on? He makes out with my brother. Francis' name is.
He makes out that he's fancy.
He's Francis, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes I fall for it. I forget myself. I say, how are you, I call him Mohel Francis. Yes. How are you, Mohel Francis? How are you getting on?
Mohel.
Mohel.
Mohel, from Mohel, yeah.
We came from Mohel. I can't talk too good with me. He come on and he keep talking. And like that, I can't fond in.
But you did fall for it lots of times.
I did fall for it a few times. But I promise you. But now I don't fall for it. Now I know it's him.
He just be messing. He's a messer.
Messing me. Telling me who he is, Merton, and how is everything up there in Ballymun and everything. You know what I mean? And that's what he does to me. Oh, he goes on.
And how many children have you got?
12.
Are you joking me?
No.
12 children.
Yeah.
And can I ask how many of them are living?
The whole lot, thank God.
The whole lot of them are still living.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
And do you know their names? Give us their names, rattle them off.
Well, Thomas first.
Yeah.
Then Bernie. Then Bridgie. Then Anthony. Then Mary. Then Merton. Then Ellie. Then Winnie. Then Patrick. Then Nancy. Then Johnny. And then Mikey.
Oh. And you're in the middle, Martin, are you?
I'm basically the sixth.
He's the sixth one.
The lucky and the good-looking one. So that's how she never gets confused.
So you're like the middle child, eh? You're spoiled rotten. Yeah. You've a big grin on your face here, like you're at the getting all the sugar lumps.
Spoiled rotten throughout the door every chance you got.
I was talking to your mammy before you got him here, and she said when you were a young fella, you were really quiet.
You think so?
Yeah.
Was he really quiet? Tell us about him as a young fella.
Yeah, very quiet he was. Very good manners. Always not cheeky. He'd do what you tell him to do. Well, none of them was cheeky now. Whatever I tell him to do.
And where was this growing up?
Everywhere around the country, in England and Ireland and
you dragged
Leitrim and
how many kids were you dragging around at once?
10 and 10 to England was.
Where?
Over to England I went with 10.
Yeah.
Come back here to Dublin I had 10 and then they were going to school and then
so we're over more in the years before this, is that right?
I was on a tour that time, I was 3 years.
Yeah.
What age did you go over to England from? So you got married in 1965.
I got married at 16, I went to England when I was 17.
And so we done an episode called Family, and it's all part of it is about you and your husband, Flakes.
She's getting to that part.
Yeah. No, I just want to tee it up because I want to link the episodes that we done because me and Martin done 10 episodes before we got any guests on.
Yeah,
and we were talking about loads of stuff. A lot of family, a lot of traveller stuff, and so on.
Yeah.
And he mentioned you a good few times. Yeah, he gave me a bit of a backstory about your wedding and how it was drew down. And there's a lot of things that I heard then that I didn't know, and I didn't know. I never heard the phrase "drew down" before, because arranged marriage.
Well, at that time, all weddings was arranged marriages.
All traveller weddings.
All traveller weddings, yeah, it was all arranged.
And did you know what's Flakes' name?
Martin.
Yeah. Did you know Martin?
Good name, a very good name.
Martin's daddy. Did you know him at all?
Oh, I knew them, his father and mother, like. His mother would be my aunt the whole time. Knew them be camping away from them, more on Mohel. We camped together, but I didn't know I was getting married to him or that. He was going to ask me or anything like that.
When you say us camp together, a couple of miles apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just in the fingers.
Camps all over the place.
All over the place, you know what I mean?
Even in tents and wagons, are we, Mother?
Yeah. One day, I went to town, my father and mother and Merton's father and mother and my auntie went to town with her husband and they drew the wedding down in town.
Yeah.
So he came out and said to me, "We're getting you married." I said, "Who?"
Yesterday came home from the pub.
Yeah. "They're getting you married." And I said, "Who?" And he said to Merton here, Helen Stokes. I said, "No."
You never told me that bit.
No, don't mind about the no. The no part was, you see.
I know.
He was a good-looking chap when he was young, and his photos there to prove it.
No, what happened to
So
me?
she was more shy than anything else. Despite the sense she wasn't.
What happened to me? I never wanted to get married. I thought in my own brain I never wanted to get married. When our wedding was down, I was around 15. My sister was married at 16 before, did you see? And he said, no, wait till she's 16. So Margaret went off to England and for that year and came back then. And then my mum was up then.
It was like an Elvis story. She was too young to get married.
He was making me anyone's pay me.
Say that again. Say that again.
He went to England and came back.
Yeah.
And it was a year ago from England, him and his sister and brother-in-law. And came back then, and then came again over again. And so...
He went off to England, Dean.
Yeah.
He done a bit of work, got a few bob, came back and asked her again. And, of course, she realised he was a good-looking chap. How could I have said no the first time?
Well able to walk.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, of course, she...
What do you mean she really... How did you...
No, I said she realised, she was only young, you see, but she was a year older then. She realised he was a good-looking chap. How could I have said no to him?
Yeah, you're picking up your daddy there, are you?
I am picking up my daddy, yeah.
Good looks and all that.
Yeah, all the good looks, sure, of course.
Do you get your good looks from your daddy or your mommy?
Truth be told.
Look,
probably from both of them, I'd say.
that was him here who was young.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, big fine.
So we're just looking at pictures here.
We big locks him.
Is that the two of you there?
Yeah.
Can I take that picture there for a second?
Yup.
That's your daddy?
Yes.
Martin. That's Martin Stokes.
He was an Elvis fan as well, as you can see.
He was into Elvis, so I'm looking at a traveller man here. It looks like it's about 1970, and he looks half like Elvis and half like a traveller.
Yes, that's right.
He has the big locks, the big black hair, the big slick, the margarine in the hair.
He had it all. He could have been, what do you call it? What do you call them in the films there where they slip in, take the parts? What do you call them again?
Oh, like stunt double. And that's you beside him there. So I'm looking at a picture of Helen here in a pair of dungarees.
No, that was only an apron that
Oh,
had
it was
front
an
of
apron,
me.
yeah.
And I was washing up the kitchen.
Yeah.
And somebody just took that picture of us.
And where was that?
In Birmingham.
That was in Birmingham
Yeah.
there. How long were you in Birmingham for?
Well, on and off, I'll say it could be 5 or 6 years in it altogether, you know what I mean, on and back.
What was Birmingham like?
It's okay, I mean, you couldn't get home very much in it because some men, kids of mine and everything, and Martin, he'd no lorry there, and he'd go out sometimes just look for old jobs and things and a bit of scrap and things like that.
Or was he working on the building sites for a while? He was.
Oh, he worked when my half was getting married at that time, with one or two children. He was very good for working on the building sites.
Yeah, he was a great worker.
He was a good worker, he was. Up in the buildings, big buildings, he'd work on them on. Constantly, I was a good fear working on them. On and off as well. Very good. Him and his uncle used to work on them. He was Pat Stokes as well.
Yeah. Pat Stokes, yeah.
They used to call him the Bishop for a nickname.
The Bishop?
Yeah.
Why did you call him that?
I think his head was bald then. And he does try to call it that.
The rest of them, huh?
Yeah, and where did Flakes get the name from? Do you know?
Well,
if you don't want to tell me, you don't want to tell me. If you're embarrassing now.
Well, tell him.
Of course, tell him. He was sent to a shop and he came back with the wrong messages.
Yeah.
What do you think? What had he in the back of his bike when he came back?
A box of cornflakes.
A box of cornflakes, and
Yes.
that name stuck. Flakes, here's Flakes now.
I think the brothers then started cheering off him
You know,
and slagging him.
And the years didn't they used to call them the
So I stuck
flakes.
with them then. Cornflakes.
Cornflakes, yeah.
No, they shortened it down to flakes, basically. I'm not saying I remember all this, but I hear the stories, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as I know, it was all the brothers. Was
So nearly all the travellers had nicknames, everyone.
no, Travis has nicknames, yeah.
All his brothers had nicknames as well.
He has many brothers, 11 brothers, wasn't it? Big family, 11 brothers he had.
There's,
Oh, no, there was 11 of them all together.
there's 20 altogether. Or the
Oh, it
boys.
was 11 brothers altogether,
yeah,
wasn't
11,
it?
11 brothers, yeah.
Actually, 4 there with all the brothers, wasn't there?
I have a lift up there.
There was 4 there with all the brothers together. From 60 down to, at the time, down to about 30, was it 30?
Yeah, 25, but
35.
something like that.
From 60 down to about 35 when the photo was taken, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was 11 of them in the one photo.
So
A good photo.
Can I tell people that I'm in Helen's caravan here, and I'm looking around, there's a load of photographs. See the one there
See that one up there, Martin, as well.
beside the mirror, who's that?
Me and my husband as well again.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah,
And that's over there, looking in the pillar. That's who he was very sick there.
He was sick there, was
He
he?
was very sick there, and I was.
Can I ask what happened to him?
Motor neuron disease.
Yep.
When did he pass 4 years ago, did he?
He had it 4 years. When he got it first, the doctors told him he'd about 6 months he'd live.
Yeah.
But he was a fire, and he lived basically for 4 years afterwards. But it did take its toll and took a big effect on him, like, obviously.
It's four and a half years then now.
wasn't it? Yeah, 4.
Four and a
No,
half years.
he had it for
4 years. He lived 4 years after.
Yeah, 4 years after when he passed away. He died at 71 then.
They gave him 6 months to live with that.
Yeah.
And he lived for 4 years.
Yeah, but he wasn't giving up that handy. Like,
Yeah.
when he came from the hospital, he went straight to the pub.
Did he, yeah?
Oh, that was the kind of.
Yeah.
He was very fond of drinking. You know.
Where was he drinking?
He drank everywhere.
Did
Like England or
I know, he had a
wherever.
couple when he was
He
here.
had a couple of locals here.
He was
Oh, down
here with
here.
a couple of locals here in Ballymun. There's 2 pubs, the Penthouse and the Towers.
Yeah.
And then he had the Kappa House in Finglas.
Yeah.
What he used to do, you get a couple of pints every now and again in each of the pubs. So he had 3 locals basically. When one pub was barred, he'd go back to his other one. Nah?
Yeah.
I was saying that I don't think he ever got barred of any pub.
You told me he might have got caught up with a couple of lads who were drinking beside him in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
He could sit at a table for a month and there wouldn't be a word of him.
Never get
That
a
was the kind of
him.
him.
He's just quiet
But
fella, was he?
I'm going to tell you a good one about him.
Go on.
There was this fella and in the Kappa House, and he'd come over to him every time he'd come in, and he'd read through and say that you would read to me for him.
What do you mean, backbiting and talking about people?
Yeah, giving out, telling about this, and such a fella done this, and such a fella done that, you know what I mean? But he was telling this Samaritan constant the whole time, and he was a man that never brought a story in his life.
Who wasn't?
Merton was,
Yes.
Lord have mercy on him.
You never what?
He'd never tell a story.
Yeah.
Or he'd never talk about anybody bad.
Yeah.
There's always something good he'd say about them. But this man was all the time running down another man. You know what I mean? And he said, don't...
Would you say like
He was
reading bad for other men?
No, yeah, for one man.
Like, it's classed as a backbiting again,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
you call it. Some people call it ridiculing.
And the man said to him, don't mention that back to that man when he comes in, he said. And he said back to Merton, said back to him, I am. I'm telling him, he said. Oh, you wouldn't do that, he says. I'll tell you what, I don't want to tell you. I'm telling him that if you didn't want me to know that, he said, you wouldn't tell me, he said, about that man.
Shouldn't have told him.
No, he shouldn't have told me, he said. Or he wouldn't, Merton would never tell about anybody.
Yeah.
But when I was getting sick of it every day, when the man came in the door, Merton stood up. And he said, I see him there, he said. He's ridiculing us for last week. They told him, thumped it in the Cap House.
Yeah. the other fella that was mouthing off.
Yeah.
And
My Merton told about him.
Yeah.
He was telling the stories to them.
Dean, what you're saying is my father was sitting down, having his pint.
Yeah.
The other guy comes in, sits down beside him, and he starts, let's say, backbiting another man that wasn't even in the pub. So my father said to me, he said, look, he said, every time I come in here, he said, you're sitting down beside me, he said, telling me stories and lies about that man, he said. He said, I've nothing against that man, he said. He's a nice man, he said, but you keep coming over, he said, telling me silly, basically, stories again.
Yeah,
right?
that's what it was.
As soon as he walks in, he said, I'm telling him, he said, everything he said about him. So therefore, it saves a lot of annoyance in a way. I can't do that. I'm doing it, he said. So when your man walks in, your father gets up and told him, he said, look, this man here, he said, every time he comes in here, he says, he's back eating the bones of you, he said, back biting you, he said.
Back eating the bones of you.
And he said, I'm sick of it, he said. So he said, you deal with it. Well, he did deal with it anyway, whoever
so
the
the two
other
of them
fella
pulled
was.
the head off each other.
Well, they had a few words and a few bangs, whatever it might be.
Did they die?
But that put a stop to the whole complete thing then.
Oh, very good.
So my father could go into the pub anymore, sit down, have his pint,
And just chill out.
and there was no one wrecking his head.
He didn't want nobody coming and telling him things.
He didn't want to hear these
He
things
wouldn't tell
anyway.
a story about anybody, or he didn't want anybody telling a story to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't talk bad about
He
nobody.
heard 100 things he wouldn't tell it back.
So he's
because
kind
it
of
caused
private
problems.
because Martin says that to me all the time. We have conversations and he says, Dean, keep that to yourself. Almost everything we say. And I
Yeah.
think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
You
quite
know what I
good,
mean? He's
yeah.
not going around
telling what you're saying.
Yeah, reading. Do you call it reading for other people?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you know what I mean, Dean. You get a beating in the end if you...
Oh, is it? Is that what you do? The first time I met you, I put my hands up to you. Huh?
What it means is, Dean, look at it's sometimes you can have a chat with somebody, yeah? And if it's confidential,
Yeah.
simple as, no matter what, they say to you, don't mention that, then you don't mention it. But if you're coming to me every day and you're talking about this guy and that guy and you're running them down, you're telling stories about him, you're making up lies about him, well, then I'm going to say to you, Dean, hold it for 1 second. I'm not tolerating that no more. When your man comes in here, you be the man and you face him, tell him what you have to say to him.
Yeah.
So that's a more decent thing to do, isn't it?
More decent.
And not everybody does that. You might get away with it a couple of times, but it doesn't work all the time.
Didn't work with him, anyway.
No way.
And so he was a quiet fella.
What you meant was that he
very
was-
quiet.
And what else? What was he up to? What was he working?
When you say quiet, Dean, he was very, let's say, he was a very peaceful man, being honest and truthful about it.
Yeah.
He'd never get into trouble, and if trouble came his way, he'd walk away from it. Didn't make him a coward. He actually felt a lot better about it. He was a big man, there's no doubt about that. He wasn't a small little mouse like you could just give a slap and run.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case. He just didn't like no trouble, simple as. And he would genuinely walk away from trouble. He'd literally do anything to avoid it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I wouldn't...
You wouldn't cross him.
No, that's not too much. It wasn't
Yeah.
too much.
And did you know his parents?
Oh, yeah, his mother was my aunt,
His mother was your aunt. What
Yeah.
was her name?
Bridget.
Bridget, yeah.
Well, her name was Bride, we used to call her
Okay.
Bridget. And his father was Tom.
And did they live
Had
down
him
in
there.
Mohill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if I had the four of them on top of the bed there.
Which photo was it?
Old Tom Bride.
Yeah, Joey.
See top of a small bed there. Go back to the door.
Get that photo, one, Joey, and then show it. Put it on that.
And my
one.
father, here on top of this bed here, see.
Your father and mother, where's their
And I think my
photos?
father and mother was there as well.
You have the two photos there, it's nice to show them.
I had them up there, but I took them down.
So Helen has a photo book, old
She-
old school photographs that we're going to have a look at.
Dean, this woman has thousands of photos.
Oh, I've
She
hundreds of
takes-
them there, but
She takes pride in her photos.
told them, Joy.
Oh my God, that's a stunner.
Oh, this is my father and mother, the first one
Put them
there.
there, Joey, at the bunks there, Dean.
I'm going to take it. I'll ask Helen and ask Martin. Can I take a picture of these to show people who are listening? Because
Yeah, you can.
so the idea here is, Helen, there's going to be people listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. One who wouldn't know what travellers are, who's probably never met a traveller,
Yeah.
who's never heard a traveller,
Yeah.
heard a voice.
Yeah.
Never mind a man traveller, a woman traveller. Never
Yeah.
heard a woman traveller speaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way you speak and the way you go on and your accent and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
speak in a very specific way.
Yeah. I don't
You know
know.
what I mean? And most people around the world would have never met somebody like you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people in this community would have never, most of the settled people in Ballymun would have never been into St. Margaret's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
95% of them.
Yeah, you're right.
Never mind people listening to this who are in Australia or Brazil or Canada or whatever like that. But what we're trying to do here is record you, capture your voice, and send it around the world so people can hear it. And for me, this is now honest now, for me to be sitting here in this caravan, close to tears now, for me to be sitting here in this caravan with you, that's
A
powerful
pleasure.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's not many women like you left in the world, Helen.
Yeah.
That's the truth of it. You know what I mean? Joey's sitting over there. Joey, I'm
And
going to
she's
mention
six-
your name now, Joey.
And she's 6'5", she stood on the ground. She
Martin
weighed
jumped-
over
Martin jumped, but Joey
345
is here And he's
pounds.
filming, and as I'm crying my eyes
Joey,
out,
look at put on that there, will ya?
Joey's
The four.
Joey's
The
laughing.
four.
So I'm
Get
looking
on
at
the
a
picture,
picture
Joey.
here of
Pause it,
and
Joey,
who's
Joey.
in this, Helen.
My father and mother, Bernie MacDonald and Mary
Come in,
Kate.
Joey. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That's a
That's
beautiful,
beautiful.
picture.
That's a stunning photograph. That needs to be up on the wall.
Well, she has them on the wall, but she only
And
moved
that's
this
a good
car
one
a few
there
weeks
too
ago.
now. That's a nice one there too.
Who's that now?
That's
Close in, Joey, yeah.
Martin's father and mother.
Oh, is it?
So that's her.
He was like one of the Robert Stack of it.
Yeah.
One of the Untouchables.
He looks like an actor in that.
That's what I'm saying to you.
He's about 6 foot.
Did you ever hear Robert Stack?
Oh, the actor, is it?
Yeah, the Untouchables.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah, sure, Dean, if you look at them two pictures,
put your mind of him.
Yeah.
would you ever think they were two traveller men? Truth. You never would.
In this one, no. In that one, a bit more. Like, that's
You're pointing at the woman there, the men. What about the men?
the
Never.
man. No, not necessarily, no. That lady there looks like a traveller woman.
Yeah.
That's her mother now.
That's your mother. She looks like a traveller woman. And I
She
was
actually looks like her, doesn't she, Dean?
I was saying this to another traveller there. I think I was saying it to you actually in the last podcast. I can generally tell by listening to or looking at a person if they're a traveller or not. Because there's a unique sound and a unique look. And
Yeah.
that's not to come across as kind of slagging or racist or anything like
That
that.
could be a chance there because a lot of travellers had hard times, Dean. To be honest about.
Yeah.
It's possible now. I'm not saying that's the answer to it.
Take them in the truth.
But they're two good pictures, aren't they?
That one there.
Did you get them in there,
that
Joey?
one
Nice and
there
close,
is-
yeah?
That's at the making me cry. That's at the blowing me away. That's a piece of history that
Bear
one
in
is.
mind, you're living in the house, do you know that?
Yeah.
These are good. They are two good pictures now. Points in or not, they're lovely pictures.
That's a piece of history.
That's
beautiful.
both of my grandparents there now, Dean.
So there's nothing that I'm more proud of that I've done than to get to know you, to get to know the people on this site in St. Margaret's, and especially to sit down with you, Helen, and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because I think that as Irish people, as non-travellers, we're missing out on so much beautiful culture.
Maybe it's because travellers don't get a chance to do these things, Dean, or get to talk to people or get out and about, and maybe because it depends on what kind of interest there is.
Well, back in about 50 years ago, there were more.
How old is that for there anyway?
My mother sung a song. She's up in Dublin here.
Yeah.
Oh, your mother was a singer, was she?
Yeah, she's a good singer she was. Well, she wasn't a singer for the country, like, but
Yeah.
they came and took her on as a singing, you know what I mean? So they're here in Dublin.
Was it one of the radio stations? What she sang for, was it?
For here,
That
for
particular
Dublin.
song, basically.
For Dublin.
She had a lovely voice, though.
You know what I
And
mean?
they recorded it? Who recorded it?
The people out of Dublin, they went down to Leitrim and
Right.
Dean, some radio channel
Yeah.
However, say they found
You
out.
You don't know who it
I
is.
don't know. We can find out that.
Oh,
She has her on
here in
tape.
Dublin,
She has her on tape, though.
Nola knows it because Nola worked. Just go down to
Yeah.
them.
Find out that. It's good.
That'd be
But
nice.
she has a lovely, lovely voice, to tell you the truth. Well, she had, God rest her.
For people out there listening, every time I hook up with Martin, he sings songs, and then as soon as we turn on the microphones, he gets all shy.
Yeah, but is
Helen, do you know that about your son?
Necessarily about being...
He's been non-stop singing when we're hanging
Yeah, when
around
you're listening on,
As soon as you turn on the microphone,
yeah, he's a good singer, yeah.
he gets all shy.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, it's not about being shy. It's just that I don't know how to sing.
On the Raglan Road of an autumn's
I wish
day.
I could sing.
I think you can. I just think
Dean, I have to advise you now.
lack confidence.
Stick with the day job. Don't take up the singing.
So tell us a bit more about him. He was shy. He was a quiet young fella, was he?
Yeah, very quiet.
And one of the things that I noticed about him, he's very, what's the word?
Oh, yeah.
He's very religious.
Yeah, got that for me.
Did he?
Well, a good part of it.
She does a lot of praying, Dean. She does her rosary there and she does her divine
And you know what I
mercy.
don't know? You wouldn't like to believe this.
And most of all, she doesn't do much wrong to people.
I go up to Thomas Street, and there's a chapel up there, and St. Rita's, and I get the masses done every month for all the dead, all the souls in the purgatory and everything.
Yeah.
I was up there yesterday, now you wouldn't believe it. I get it done for everyone throughout the world. And even they couldn't believe it when I do that above Thomas Street in the chapel. And even one day I was doing it, and the woman said to me, "You're a great woman," says, "to do that. You're getting it done for everybody." Well, I says, "I can't miss nobody then."
Yeah.
Now that was everybody living. And I got one done for everybody dead and the souls. And done them for my own family and every family that I think of. I get them all done. And believe now, yesterday my month was up and I was up there yesterday, getting them done again.
What do you mean you're getting the prayer done?
You know,
prays for souls in purgatory, Dean.
Same as now, you're in them as well now, because I done it for everybody.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody in the world, your family and everything.
Yeah.
And we'll say, this mass is going on for a solid month every day. For a month every day, you're getting prayed for.
Wow.
Everybody is.
That's lovely.
And everyone in the world that I have it done for, they're getting prayed for.
It's like a bouquet of masses, basically.
Yeah.
In other words, Dean, you have someone praying for you, you don't even know who's praying for you.
You see,
Remember I said this in the last podcast sometimes, and things going right.
You were saying to Shawnee in the last podcast that maybe there was someone praying for you. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you have faith in it, that you believe in that.
Yeah. Well, the woman that does the mass, she couldn't believe it. When I says, I can't think of everybody in the world say for the do it for them, but I do one for everybody throughout the world. But throughout the world means all over the world, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And I have it done for every month for them, for every day for a month, for everybody. So, travellers on country.
Sometimes it is hard to think of everybody, so I just put them all in one.
Stick them all in one.
Well, I do that every month.
Yeah, but it's for me, it's like the thing I was taught when I was a young fella, that we're all God's children, so you stick everybody in.
Yeah, everybody.
Well, yes, yeah. It was like treat everybody the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, in a way, when you're praying for them, you are treating them because you like someone to pray for you.
Yeah.
So, why not pray for somebody else?
Yeah.
Sometimes people need prayers and they mightn't have the strength.
I do that. I see me going to Lourdes there when I was about 7 or 8 years back. And I spent £700 alone in masses for the people and candles. And when he was with me.
For other people, yeah.
You know, for everybody.
What would you be spending the money on?
I hope you
On
spend
the
more
masses.
for me.
I did it for everybody. I spent £700 for no big candle lights for 12 months. For one of them. And for small candles.
Very good. So you have a candle that lasts the whole year.
And for masses. And done all my prayers as well. I'm praying for everybody. You know what I mean? What more could I do? Because if you go to Lourdes, we're always getting something, medals or pictures or everything like this. But I didn't get very much of them money.
Nowadays,
the money.
Literally, we'll say in the traveller community, have everything. When you go to Lourdes or Medjugorje, you like to bring something back to somebody, and say to as many people as you probably can.
Yeah.
But whether it be a drop of holy water or maybe a medal or whatever little picture or something, like a candle or something. The most important thing is lighting candles over there for them and also getting masses said for them. That is probably the best thing that you can do for them. But on the other hand, so many travellers have been to Medjugorje now and Lourdes and to Knock and to all.
They have all the bits.
They literally have. Well, if you look around here, you'll see what we're talking about.
Well, that's nothing.
Their heads go in statues and books
that's
and all
only
that.
a fraction of what she has. She's a lot of stuff left up there because When he moved in here recently into this
And
caravan,
have some of them out in the kitchen.
and she has a mountain of stuff there.
Too much
But
stuff.
now, the other thing about it is, almost every traveller has the same thing. So it's a great sign that travellers have a good faith in Our Lady and Our Lord. It's very, very good. No matter what they do in life or what they don't do,
So it's nice to
they
pray
still
for
have
people
that
anyway.
strong faith, which is very good, and it comes in. Let's say it comes in handy when you don't even realise it.
And I have a little prayer there, and it's for if you bleed, if you get a cut or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the people bleeds. I say the prayer, no matter who here it is or who hear about. You know what I mean? You come all over the world if I hear someone bleeding, I'll say the prayer, and the blood stops. About Jesus.
And what prayer is it?
Well, it's a small one. It's Jesus was born in the stable of Bethlehem. He was baptized by the river Jordan. The water was clear and very smooth. When Jesus passed by, the water stood, but by his words and by his name, he converted the blood to do the same. When the water stood,
Yeah.
well, when a person had bleed in, when he said the prayer, the blood would stop. A good one.
Lovely, yeah.
And I always say it to everybody, for anyone that bleeds.
So where did you get that from? Was your
Back years ago, I don't know. It could be my father and mother, I don't even know.
so was your parents obviously there where they had faith?
Oh, yeah, they were very good like that too as well.
Yeah.
Was it long after when you got married? Was it long after then when your father and mother got the house in Mohill then?
Well, when I got married, I went to England in it. A few months after somewhat, and he got a house when I was gone to England. He got the
He
house.
lived
there.
all the life in the house then, didn't
He lived all the life in that house, you know.
And
You
you know
can't
that-
see there, but
That same house now, when her parents passed away, her younger but oldest brother, if you like, he applied for the house. He's actually living in the house now.
yeah,
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
yeah.
Great, it was great to carry
And-
that on, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
And Margaret's sister.
And they were so many years in the house. Would he be maybe 40 years in the house, would he? Probably in and around that anyway, maybe 30 or whatever.
30
anyway.
year, about 30 years.
So they literally reared, when she got married, then they literally reared the rest of the family, was it?
Yeah. All the
whole
rest of them
family
up
then
there, and they went to school
Was
in
reared
the
in that
sea.
house
Where's that house?
in Mohill,
In Mohill.
County Leitrim, yeah. Actually a nice little place.
So can I ask you a question? When you said begging, what does that mean?
Well, there was no door on that time for my father and mother and like that. But my father would make a few tins or go out and sell them and like that, you know what I mean? Cans or buckets or things like that. And my mother would do the begging in the house like for spuds or milk or flour, anything at all she'd get.
Yeah.
And that kept the place going then.
So I remember growing up here in the 80s in Ballymun, and travellers would knock on the door and just say, you know, they'd ask you, do you have any old shoes or jackets or bits and bobs?
Yeah, any
You know what I
clothes,
mean?
I do it as I finished with it. Yeah. That was the same thing. Yeah.
Now, we didn't really see that as begging. It was more just knocking around to see.
Yeah. Well,
Do you
we-
have that and spare, that and left over,
Yeah.
that and
In a
that you weren't
sense.
using?
Well, we used to call it begging that time.
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, in a sense, it was begging. Like, you weren't borrowing it to give it back, were you?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And you weren't robbing it.
you weren't robbing it.
So they classed it as begging.
Yeah, you were
And you
asking.
know-
It was the most decent word to use when you when you
you-
use the three of them.
You know something? That was the best times of all.
Yeah.
And there was no sickness, there was no doctors, there was no nothing. No, there wasn't at that time.
That's what they reckon. Sometimes they reckon that you're. Not everyone would agree now, but they reckon that your poorest days are your happiest days.
There were, yeah.
Some people mightn't see that.
You'd never see a child back of a doctor or one thing or another. And the food you were getting and eating was a lot better than the food now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think the more.
Or in meaning that you had enough to eat and a bed to sleep in,
yeah.
a roof over
Oh, you'd
your head.
always plenty to eat because you get from house to house.
The reality.
But you had
The reality of it is, what more would you want?
like we grew up with fresh food, not frozen food.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the same as you. You grew up
Yeah,
with
there was
fresh
no
Basically,
food.
you didn't have.
carrots,
So you didn't
spuds.
have
Everything, yeah.
yesterday's food. You had
Yeah.
today's food.
We had all the food.
Yeah.
Um,
We were lucky to have last week's food.
Cabbage, turnips, spuds, everything like that, all in that, lovely. And you'd love that. And you know, if you boil a pot of cabbage and make bacon and anything like that, and there was some left over, and you would put your lid on that till next morning if you wanted, dude.
yeah.
Well, next morning you could warm the up and eat it. It's beautiful.
That's the best.
Do you know today?
Yeah.
You have to peg it in the bin as soon as you finish with it.
But that's what my dad used to do. We'd have a stew. Like most people in Dublin
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
80s,
I
you'd have a
thought of that,
stew.
yeah.
And the stew would be best after 3 days.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and you'd heat it up.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like,
Maybe.
Today wouldn't do that because
Yeah.
it got red rotten.
But I'm sure
Or is
my
it
dad's
because people-
parents, they would have having something on the stove for 7 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is it a case where maybe that was the situation back then?
Yeah.
So I mightn't have the food, whereas today, too much selfishness.
There's more waste than anything else.
Too much food wasted.
Yeah.
Too many choices. People want this, that, and the other, and they don't know what's good for them. Same as myself, I don't know what's good for me. Tell you the truth.
And today there's so
But-
much of takeaways. There's too much chips and fish and
Oh, I
curry and
wouldn't
all
mind a
these
good old
things.
takeaway right
You
now,
know,
tell you the truth.
no. There were
I've
different-
noticed, not just in here in St. Margaret's with travellers, but in general, there's not a lot. I don't see a lot of cooking happening.
No.
No,
You know
no.
what I mean?
The young
A lot-
girls
a lot
now
of-
don't, dude.
A lot of standing around peeling spuds and carrots and putting the chicken
no,
on or whatever
no,
like
no.
that, you know?
I have to say my woman does now, Dean. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say something that doesn't happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're mad into the curries and the deliveries.
No, not mad into them, honestly. Same as anybody else. I'd like an old curry every now and again.
Yeah.
But the truth is, a good old boiled dinner now and again is no harm either. Be honest about.
And it's hard to bit of cabbage, I'll tell you one thing.
The cabbage,
Just
a bit of
spuds and
bacon, a bit of boiled dinner.
It isn't that, I
probably the
had that
healthiest.
much bacon in my life as I got sick of it. I couldn't eat it now.
That many what?
I ate so much bacon in my life and cabbage. I swear.
Bacon and cabbage, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't-
seen a fella walking through here, a travelling man walking through here about 12 months ago, and he had a hair.
It was a head of cabbage, or was it his hair? It was his own.
No,
hair.
it was
that,
a
could
hair.
be, that could be one of the animals just bringing it into
Oh,
there.
like a hair is in a rabbit, like.
But this was a hair now.
Yeah.
And it was skinned.
Yeah, you don't see much of that now anyway.
They
but
might
rabbits would have been
fancy
into
your
years ago.
Donald's son just to bring them into Merton here.
But I seen him walking through this side here like this. It was about
Have a good look.
2 foot length, and he was
Open
holding it like
up
that with his legs.
Yeah. Well, you often brought them in here to my sink and cut them and skin them for Merton because he didn't know how to do it and I wouldn't do it. And he'd do it for him and I'd boil them in for him, all right. That's
Yeah, they
true.
were very good for that.
They're
weren't
very
they?
good at Donald's for that.
Yeah, they used to bring
Fancy Donald's right here.
in the. He'd hunt them, you see. He'd go hunting.
Yeah.
And he used to do the same thing with the fish. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Bring in the pikes.
Have you eaten pikes?
No, they'd fish for the pike.
Yeah.
You know, you should get them that size. And they should have brought down here to him. We had the fish. He used to love it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He would have done this like years and years ago when he was a young lad. And just today, that much of it doesn't happen. And they dropped them into him here with the pike or the.
And you know he loved.
He loved them.
He loved an eel. Oh, God. An
Eel.
Oh, an
The
eel.
eel.
An eel is an eel.
I didn't. I know he used to love them.
Oh,
I would
I
like
hear
them
it.
to
No, I wouldn't look at them till I told
And
them.
he was
They
like
were
a big snake. He was like a
No,
snake.
yeah, yeah.
They were like a snake. Oh, he'd
They
love
could
it.
literally cut. They could take an eel, which is a fish basically, and cut it by cutting 10 pieces, and still them pieces be moving around the pan. I wouldn't. I reckon
That's
it's,
why-
They had all them things in the pubs and all, like Jelly
Yeah.
Deal and
Yeah.
periwinkles and all that.
Oh, I wouldn't like to eat
they're a
like that.
delicacy, all right, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat them. Today.
Tripe. Do you ever have tripe?
I wouldn't eat nothing like that. I'd eat a perch, all right, or a bit of a
Mackerel.
mackerel. A bit of mackerel.
Mackerel, yeah.
Yeah,
Mackerel.
yeah mackerel. Mackerel.
And you sing an old song?
I'm not used to middle now. Not bad old singer. I can't sing now.
Can you not?
No.
Who are you
I have a
into?
kind of a little lump here in my throat.
Oh dear. Who are you into singing?
And nobody, just send a Merton around the place and a bit of pick up and had a bit get fine out of it.
Yeah.
Right here. Just that's all. Merton can sing, but I couldn't. I wasn't a bad old singer, but I can't do it now.
He won't sing for me. He gets all shy. Did you know that?
I
I
don't.
won't sing for nobody, and it's not shy. It's because I don't know how to sing.
Oh, you do.
If I could sing, I'd sing.
Would
I'd
you
be
sing
happy.
a song for your man?
I would. If I could sing, I'd sing for her. She knows
Come
that.
on here.
anyway.
All the microphones are here now.
I'll leave it out, son. Will you?
No, you're getting all shy again.
No, I'm not shy.
One day on
What,
this.
what I want to ask you earlier on, right? Dean keeps jumping in there. He keeps throwing stuff in and. Remember you said Flakes when he was fond of drink? Obviously he was.
Yeah.
Of course, he was an alcoholic in the end. Around what age was he when he sort of started to drink?
Oh, let's see now.
Was it
Maybe-
around the time his father died, was it? We often heard that.
No, that's when he got into the drinking.
His father died a young man, didn't he?
40 years.
Oh, that's him. So, huh?
And he can take a few drinks all right, a few pints. Not,
Where were you living at the time?
Well,
Around Newtown?
we were at Longford. That time
Oh,
Longtown
Longford.
died, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Were
So
you in a camp or?
he was very fond of the father. He used to go on like very good together, the two of them. And it broke his heart for him to die, a young man.
Flakes was only young too, though, wasn't he? Back then.
Oh,
like?
yeah. He was a.
When your daddy's daddy died.
Yeah, he took
Yeah.
it very bad hurt. Now I don't know because obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
He
What
did.
age
Well, I
did
did
that?
hear
What
that
age
he-
did Flakes' daddy die?
48 year.
48.
Fine. No, that's
See,
from there,
Dean,
that
there's a
four
picture,
there.
look.
Yeah.
And he was
Good,
he was
fresh.
big now and as healthy as that now.
Yeah.
And the morning that he died, I never forget.
Fine, fresh man, wasn't he?
And he was out playing
Arrest him.
tossing,
Yeah.
no pitching, with all the couple of the sons outside playing.
Yeah.
What's the game? Tossing, pigeon?
Pitching, you pitched, that's what he used to call it years
The
ago.
crack slagging, but tossing the coins.
Oh, yeah.
Or pitching the coins.
And,
It was a pastime, bit of fun for them, like, you know what I mean?
They were pitching, and then Martin came down to get something to eat to me. And next one of the children ran down and says, Dad has a pain. Got the pain across the chest.
About old Tom.
Brought him straight into the hospital. And doctor and everything took him in. He come back for me and for his old lady there now. So we went in.
He brought him down to the hospital.
And dropped him back to bring old lady in.
Flakes brought him down to the hospital.
Yeah. A little bit from us.
And what happened? He came back, let him into the casualty, basically.
They brought him in, the doctors brought him in then.
And say, my father went back up to get you and
he said to me, he
our
said,
bride and my grandmother.
yeah. And he said to me, he said, just go in for a minute next, how is he? He said, he knew he was so bad with the pain, aye.
He was frightened to ask.
It was a fear attack. So when I went in, they told me he was dead. So I nearly put the place down when I heard it.
Took a heart attack, basically.
Well, Tom took a massive heart attack.
You were
And was he
screaming,
a
were you?
smoker?
He was smoking, yeah. No, not real heavy, but he used to smoke. I wasn't a man for drinking heavy. You know, man, same as Martin, now he started drinking early, like. But old Tom, he'd drink.
Yeah.
And if old Tom says, I'm getting off drink now for 6 months, and I'm taking no drink, well, he meant that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He meant, he was,
But I heard
he was getting off for
obviously-
6 months.
Obviously, Mother, you'd know because you're his oldest trotting-in-law, is
Yeah.
that right? Right. I heard that he was a very good family man, though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm,
Very respectable to the family as
Yeah.
well, like.
he was.
Things I'm only hearing, she obviously knows all
And
that.
a very quiet man, out he was.
And,
But same as that, don't stand his cardinals, because he wouldn't take it for no man.
and again, my
That
mother
was the kind of him.
again, Dean, my mother, and she ever used to talk about him now, she used to talk very good about him.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he had a great respect for her as well.
Oh,
same
he
as
had.
she
He was very fond of me.
Same
Yeah.
as she had for him,
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean?
Was.
Oh,
And
that's
I had
tough.
for him too, for his wife, the British, my aunt.
And that's a long time ago now, Mother, isn't it? How young, what age was Flakes then?
That time, let's see, how would he be? Old Tom was 50 years dead now, isn't he?
Well, a bit close, probably, yeah.
Oh, he,
It's 40 years, is it?
So can I ask you a question? You're a traveller woman.
yeah.
What does that mean to you?
I mean, it's good. Like, I'm proud to be a traveller, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not finding the settled people, or grant that they're not going against them.
Yeah.
We were settled people, never weren't.
And
What
she
can we
go
do?
back.
And you know, we can't be travellers.
Yeah, go on.
Where would I put the tissue in my naga? Give me some. Oh, you
You're
know.
bringing the old tears out there now.
Ah,
Dean.
Well,
yeah.
there we-
You're searching
well,
too hard there, Dean.
No, it's not. It's just that I want to talk to him anyway.
Talk, yeah.
The way my father tell us now, and his father tell him. Years ago, we were all the one people, the settled people and the travelling people was all one.
Yeah.
But when the time of
In
the...
other words, there was no travellers.
No, there were no travellers. So
Well-
many years back, whatever war it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the travelling people always live in little small houses as well. And they were all the one. But when the soldiers and the armies came along and started blowing down the little houses and everything and killing some of the people and everything, everyone would take to the road.
This was in your grandfather's time, is it?
Yeah,
So they would have been British soldiers.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Our
It was
fathers.
because I don't know one time with my father too as well. But anyway, they were all pegged out on the street and out and leave and go on and camp along the side of the roads. And however they will see you people now, your generation,
Countryman, the countryman.
they come
The
on.
countryman became a traveller, Dean's what you're saying.
But then what's how you ever got the houses and got this and other, you know what I mean? They got to be the settled people and we were the travellers.
Yeah.
And my father and mother. But years and years ago, my father was unable to get married. And they were down in Enniskillen they were. And he had a horse and he was going up for a horse up the road. And this lorry came, with all the soldiers above on it, and pegged him up into the lorry. Because he had the horse was spangled, the way the horse wouldn't go down the road of fair. You know what spangled is now? They had a rope from one leg to the other,
Oh, very good.
with that much.
Tying the horse's legs together.
Aye.
Yeah.
And the horse's legs about that wet from other.
Right.
But they couldn't go fair then, you know what I mean? They knew where they were.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
the-
But basically the horse couldn't run then.
They couldn't gallop away anywhere.
It's called a spancel.
Spansion now.
Yeah. And so like a rope between the two front legs.
That's right. Aye.
And he couldn't get a gallop on.
And they couldn't gallop. And when the soldiers seen it, and him along with the horse, they took him up in the lorry and they beat him to death nearly above the
Oh.
lorry. My father. He was a young boy. I just had to get married and had a horse. And the man them and Beham and Peggy Flurry down again the road and nearly killed him. But he was got to the hospital.
What was he? He was a
Cruelly.
young fella.
That was supposed to be cruelly.
Was his father mother living in the house that time?
No, they wouldn't. His father was in the war that time.
His father was in the war?
Yeah. But his mother was in, I think she was at Carrick-on-Shannon or somewhere.
Right.
Longer from her people.
And the soldiers were saying that was cruelty.
They called that cruelty.
Yeah.
With the horse being tied away.
But he was just doing it because the horse then, you know
Well,
where the horse
everyone
was.
that time, all the travellers when the horses are that way.
Yeah. But mother, before that, going back before that, you're saying there was no, at the time it wasn't travellers, everyone was in houses, small houses.
Yeah, they were all out, everyone was in houses.
So what happened there when the soldiers came around and putting people out of their homes?
Yeah.
I think you told me this before the job.
Yeah.
The settled people, let's say, became travellers, half of them. So some of them emigrated, is that right?
Yeah.
And the ones that didn't emigrate started living in tents.
Yeah.
And on the sides of the road had no choice.
Had no choice.
So that's where sort of travellers came from then.
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
there's another story there where...
I've never...
You've never heard that bit,
slow
Dean.
down for a second because this is really important. I've never heard it said that way.
No, I'll tell you what you heard, Dean, right?
Just 1 second, Martin. Do you know when that was?
Probably World War II, was it?
Or it could be because that was my great-grandfather's time.
So it was your great-grandfather. So what I'm thinking is, if it wasn't your father, it was your father's father, you're 75 years of age.
Yeah.
So if we go back 75 years ago, plus your daddy's age, you know what I mean?
It would mean then that her grandfather, her great-grandfather was a settlement. Simple as that.
So it could be 120 years ago, which brings it around the time.
Yeah.
Probably not back that far even.
Could be, yeah.
120 years ago. So what we had in this country was we were ruled by the British.
Yeah,
all the land in the country was ruled by the British.
Yeah, that's right, they were, yeah.
Yeah. And they had there was a thing called the Land Wars. Because I was only up on Tory Island there a couple of weeks ago. And there was a story where a ship came into the back of Tory Island and they made a wish on the wishing stone that the ship wouldn't come onto the island, and it crashed. Yes. And it was, I think it was like 80 British soldiers who were coming onto the island to tax them.
What she was saying there earlier on, which is like a repeat again, was that when them things happened, everybody was living in small little houses.
Yeah, they're all...
Probably nothing short of wigwams. You know what a wigwam is, don't you? A small little house, yeah?
We all settled people.
When that happened, everybody started hitting the road, as the fella said. And a lot of people started emigrating. Is that right, Mother, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, the people that didn't emigrate, that had no choice to
stay, no money or nothing.
Start living in tents on the sides of the road, and then they became travellers. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now,
that's how they were travelling.
Then you have the other story that's written in the books where it's called Romany travellers from the far side of the world, and they're saying the travellers originated from there. It was a hard story to believe whether it's true or not, and it probably is true. Maybe travellers did come from there also.
Yeah.
But the story she's given to her version of the story, from her grandfather and his father again, going back to literally her great grandfather, it makes a lot of sense.
So in Ireland, in about 1840, 1850, there was about 8.5 million people living here.
Right.
We were ruled by the British.
Yeah, that's right.
This was a British colony.
Yeah.
Okay. There was loads of the docks in town was the second busiest harbour in the world,
right?
Because it was a part of the British Empire, and we had a thing that they called the famine, and people either left this country for America, Canada,
that's
Australia,
what happened. That's why they had to go
or
to the famine.
died.
Yeah,
and we started hearing about travellers in the 50s and the 60s when it was a decision by the Irish government to get rid of the shame of having these travellers in the country. So between the famine, which is ended about 1950, and 1850 and about 1950. That's 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when your father's father would have been alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Between 1850 and 1950, and Ireland only got its independence 100 years ago. So they, as in travellers, are us.
Yeah.
We are them.
Yeah.
We're all one.
Yeah, all the one, yeah.
And when I come into this caravan, that's why I start crying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's who we are.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not some made up thing. It's who we are as people.
There's no difference in anybody.
You know what I mean?
Everybody is God's children anyway up or down.
Yeah.
And that was the time of the Titanic thing. How many years ago was that? When
1912.
everybody had to immigrate that time with the famine at the time, it was what I heard him saying.
Yeah.
The father and mother, they could often talking about it. Was,
Yeah, but it's probably going back a little bit before that.
oh, is it?
What you're saying there now, because but at the same time, maybe it went on for years. Chances are it went on for years.
Yeah, because everybody
If it
immigrated
leads
that
up
time.
to
mostly.
1912,
Yeah.
which is like 10, 12 years now. at the
10
moment.
years ago was the Titanic, yeah.
110
And then
years
10
now.
years after that, we got our
Yeah,
independence.
but go 5 years before that, or
Yeah.
maybe 10 years before that.
Yeah, so we had
Where,
land wars in
where
this
all
country.
this was happening, what she's saying there,
Yeah.
where people were living in houses, and a little, they called them houses, little huts, and had to
They were
move
little mud
because of the
houses,
war,
or-
and then looking for refuge, the fellow would say. So I think probably it's either one or the other way to look at it, is that everyone was travellers at one time, or everyone was country people at one time. Which is it going to be?
All the one. And they would have to
we know
do.
now, because
Do you know that time, Martin? At that time, that's why, did you ever see down in the countries when you go through the country? Did you ever see houses up long lanes or at the back of hills, around like that?
Yeah.
Well, that's where they had to go and hide that time.
Yeah.
And make little small houses, the people, know the settled people, and make little small houses at the back of the hills. Out the back of the hills, and I will say big long lanes and the back of the mountains and everything. And that's how they had to hide the count of the soldiers. They'd be killed, they were threatened for them, you know what I mean? So that's why all this is done on the travellers.
it's hard to get a good story now from the traveller's life, as you might call it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm only a young lad. She's like 73 years old here, but yet she's telling the story that her father told,
Yeah.
and his father beyond that again.
Oh,
do you
yeah.
understand?
Mm.
So the fact that there's not many travellers now in their 90s or 95s, which is very hard to get in and settle people in mind the travellers, you'd hear a further story kind of thing, if you know what I'm saying to you. Or even this minute there was other, say, traveller women around her age, 73, so about 78, 79. So they'd have a story to tell as well. And the chances are that it would correspond and collaborate with her story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you'll probably hear different versions of it, which is actually good.
Helen, you're at the saying...
She's giving us good. She's giving some good stuff, though, I have to
Yeah,
say.
but you're at the saying stuff there, stuff that happened in this country 150 years ago,
Yeah.
that we as a nation have kind of pushed underneath the carpet
Yeah.
and decided
Yeah.
to forget about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's some that you can't forget, but they do.
Yeah. And we've decided to put some blame on a group of people called travellers
Yeah.
or knackers, as the name
Yeah.
goes around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that these
And
are
that's-
that these were the problem. These travellers had the problem in our country. And then 70 years ago, 60 years ago, we tried as a country to get rid of that group of people.
Yeah.
And that's how much shame we have in it. That's how
Yeah.
much pain we have
Mhm.
in the whole famine thing. We don't talk about the famine in this country.
No.
We don't have those conversations.
Oh.
We write songs about them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the songs that you traveller people sing are about those times and about the pain and the hardship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just country and folk songs hanging
Yeah.
down.
And I was saying about the knackers a while ago to you, but the knackers I was saying.
Yeah,
Well, the knackers, they're called traveller knackers,
yeah,
but they're not. I was telling you a while ago. Do you know those big the four-wheelers downtown there?
yeah,
And there'd be 2 or 3 big Clydesdales for to pull them. They were going round from years ago here down here in Dublin. They used to bring the Guinness up on them and everything.
Use the horse to draw the...
That's what they called. That was knackers.
traps.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what you call knackers. But they called it the travellers. Then they did. Instead of that was the wrong name for them.
Then they were...
And they were back about 50 or 60 years ago. Knackers was itinerants. They used to call them itinerants.
yeah.
And they changed it back into travelling people. So I think travelling people is right people for them. The name for them.
Funny thing about it, they tried everything, Dean,
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what they come back to?
One.
Travellers.
Travellers.
You recognise them now as travellers.
Because there's only names for them.
What's strange, isn't it?
What's the other? It's like a cant name. Minker.
A minker.
Minker.
Yeah, a minker, yeah.
Minkier.
Would you use that word?
A minkier.
Yeah.
No, we never did. Years ago, they probably used to, but I never. You know.
Dean, the thing about it is, the words that you would ask travellers, are they using them? Travellers won't use these words. They don't use them. It's the settlement that use these words. Not all settlement. or the settled person, whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah.
That uses these words. Call you the mink, call you the knacker, call you what they want to call you. You don't call you the traveller. But you're a traveller in spite of everything. It makes no difference. And if you're in Ireland, you're Irish, so you're a member of the Irish society.
I think that's a very hard thing for Irish people who aren't travellers to accept that travellers are them. Travellers are Irish. Travellers are who we are. Travellers are who we are.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're a member, you're an Irish person, no matter what. You're born in Ireland, you're Irish.
Yeah.
Right, whether you're born into a settled family or a traveller family, they can't take away the fact that you're still Irish. They might try to throw the mat over the traveller, all right, and push them aside and try and get rid of them, like you said earlier on.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you're still an Irish person. So you are a member of Irish society, no matter what the Irish public or the Irish government thinks, or no matter how they try to treat you.
Because
they can't wash that away.
This whole thing that we get caught up in is, traveller tradition and traveller pride and all this. And we try and put travellers in this separate little group over here. And I understand that. And I know that there was a thing done in the Dáil a couple of years ago where traveller people got like ethnic status. But even travellers know it didn't mean anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was only a talk on a bit of paper. That's all that was.
And really, the real challenge is, the real opportunity is for us all to see each other as the same.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty. That's the conversation we don't want to have.
Yeah.
See, Dean, that's good for publicity. If you're a member of government or parliament or the Dáil or whatever you want to be, right, and you want to give yourself, let's say, a good status, well, then you can raise any issue that you want to and try to get it, let's say, make it visible, yeah? Make it known out there. But that doesn't mean you have interest in the first place. That doesn't mean you're bothered about whether things change or not. What you're really bothered about is your own status.
Yeah.
You see, so you're the good guy then now. You spoke up and you said this and you said that and you signed papers and you told the world there's going to be changes here. But you're going home to your house and you don't give a damn after that. But nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So one thing from coming up here and getting to know you and being on this site for the last 2 or 3 years, you know what I mean? I come up here now and it's like I'm going up to my brother. That's basically it. I don't see this community as different.
Yeah.
As traveller.
What you're trying to say is that you don't you haven't put anything between yourself and the traveller man, basically.
There's no difference. For me, there's no difference. We are the same. And I know that 99% in Dublin anyway, of settled people, they don't do that. They don't come in here.
Yeah.
They just don't engage because they see it as totally separate. Yeah. The travelling people live a whole separate life.
Yeah.
Don't forget, there's a lot of settled people think that way because not through their own faults. It's because of what they were taught, what they were told, what they see on TV, the stories they read off the newspapers, the stuff that goes on in the media. There's a lot of negativity about travellers. Not every complete traveller is out there. They're not all, let's say, they're not all the worst people on the planet, if you understand what I'm saying.
But they are the people
who... In all walks
of
life, you get good people and bad people. We have that in the traveller community.
Yeah.
We also have that in the settled community. We have that in England, we have it in Ireland, we have it in America, we have it in every part of the world. No matter what race, breed, or seed you come from. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, as you call it, right? But we have that everywhere. So it's not just about let's say, in travellers. So they can look at all the negative side or negativity in travellers, and they can feed off it. And to be honest about it, it's only Ireland that does it. You go to America, you'll hear there's thousands of travellers in America. Thousands of travellers, right? They're classed as American citizens.
Just citizens.
Simple as.
Yeah.
They're not brushed down like the same as the travellers are in Ireland. Now, go to England. There's thousands of travellers in England, and they're not brushed down the same way. Ireland is let's say, for instance, we could call it a racist country if you want, being honest about it. And they have more on their plate now than what they had 10 years ago. because Ireland has been influxed by all nations of the world now.
Yeah.
Well, not all nations, but a majority of nations of the world. People have come from all parts of the world in the last 10 or 12 years, and they have influxed Ireland. So it's the best thing that ever happened, because you know why? Because now they have more to talk about than just talk about the traveller man. So now the traveller is seen as a good guy now. He's a good person now. He's welcome. He's welcome to stay in his own country now. Because if he moves out of his own country, he's only making more space for another foreigner in their eyes. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm talking about? And that's the reality of it. So fair play to the foreign man that comes in, the black man, the Asian man, all colours and all races that comes into this country and straightens up the government and talks up to them and gets what they want off them. Because why? Because the government had no respect for travellers when travellers were lying down and not opening their mouths and just being kind and living normally as they should live.
Yeah.
Trying to be a part of society, and they weren't allowed to be that part. But now, every race, breed, seed and generation has come into Ireland and making themselves part of society. And give them 10 out of 10 for it.
Yeah.
I play to them.
Yeah. So it's same as the black people out in the far countries now years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't they make slaves out of them and everything, and there were nobody, and they shoot them and they kill them and everything. And everybody was still all the one people, white and black. I mean, like, that's an awful thing to do to them.
Where the tree here, she said they're treating the black people like
They're very bad.
the dirt of the earth, you're going to put it that way.
Yeah.
Didn't they do it with Charlie Pride when he got to be a
they
singer?
weren't taking into consideration that they were
Hadn't
human.
he singing behind the stage? Behind a curtain, and they wouldn't let him out in the front.
That's
Who,
right.
who is it?
Charlie Pride is
Charlie
dead now,
Pride,
the
one of
man.
the best country singers that ever lived. One of them. Now there's hundreds of them, but he's one of them.
Yeah.
And yet he had to sing behind in his country, his own country. He had to sing behind, not just his own country,
Everywhere.
in other countries, everywhere he went. He had to sing behind a curtain, although he was a beautiful singer. Yeah, let's say they couldn't identify his color.
He's a black man.
He's a black man behind a white curtain.
Bad, wasn't it?
Yes,
It's
and
very
he was a
bad.
beautiful singer. He entertained
Everything.
literally millions and millions and millions of people,
Lovely singer.
but they never knew he was black.
We let you entertain us, but we won't accept you.
But don't
No,
let us
yeah.
see your color.
But the later years then, when they got used to him then, and they knew about him singing and everything, they let him all out, and she went all over the world then, he did. He's dead now, he is. That's what they done. Very aggravating to stupid people. No, man. And I haven't seen there now, you know, a crowd of settled people there, they got the young girls, the boys and everything there, and see a travelling person passing, and they'd all laugh at them and cheer at them and everything. That's no good either, isn't it?
I think, though, sometimes what we do is it's always good to have a scapegoat or a fall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always good to have somebody who's lower on the ladder than we are.
Yeah.
Because then we can get away with stuff.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, you're right there.
And then everything that we do is okay, but we can point down to somebody else,
Yeah.
whoever it is, a black man, a travelling man,
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
You're right there, yeah.
The Native American Indian, the Aboriginal in Australia. It's always good to have somebody that we can put the blame on, you know? And I think that that's what's happened in this country. And I think it's time for us just to be honest about it and call it out and just say, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for us just to say that they're knackers. Yeah.
Yeah.
That they're dirty, that they're smelly, that
Yeah.
they don't do anything, that they don't pay taxes, that they rob people. There's no other group in the history of this state when we had our independence that was laws written to get rid of them. There was laws and rules and regulations written in this country by
Yeah.
our government
Yeah.
to get rid of
Get rid
traveller
of
people,
travellers.
That's
just
right,
to
yeah.
totally wipe them off the planet, the
Yeah.
earth. So when they were doing that with Jewish people in Germany during World War I and World War II, the whole world turned up and said, no, you can't do that. They're trying to do that in Ukraine. The Russians are trying to wipe the Ukrainian people off the planet.
Yeah, dear.
But listen, it's happening in our country in 2022 in Ireland. We're still haven't fully accepted.
As far as I'm concerned, the government are only giving themselves a hard time. They're wasting their time trying to wipe the travellers off the planet because it's not going to happen. Travellers, as we said before, they're going to be around forever. Simple as that. Always going to be there no matter what. The governments will be changed and changed and changed and changed again, and travellers will still be around. Mother, I want to go back to one thing earlier on, right? About my father. I want to talk a little bit about my father, right? The rest of him. You know when that happened to his father when he passed away, yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously, he said Flakes took it very bad, say, when his father passed away, because they were like brothers more than best friends more than father and son, basically. So was that around that time then he started sort of hitting the drink then, yeah?
Yeah. From the house.
He was.
He used to drink before, but not the same as...
Well, he liked to drink,
same as
but
anybody,
not,
he did a drink.
he wasn't
But not
classed
the
as a
same as
drinker.
he'd be going alcoholic over it.
No?
So when he died, his father died in... He wasn't alcoholic, he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Drink,
he just started drinking more or less every day then, basically.
drink more when he'd get it.
Yeah.
But where he'd have to have it. And that's what happened.
But I remember as, no, when I was only young now, very, very young, I'm guessing probably 8, 9 years of age, probably 7, 8 years of age.
Yeah.
And we were living in a house in Birmingham, that right?
Yeah.
So is that where we came from? From Longford over to Birmingham, was it? And he'd come home, like I was only said, I can just vaguely remember it. And he'd come home from the pub and he'd sing a song, but it was a song that sort of corresponded to his father, sort of. And he'd just break down and cry every time. Every time he'd come home and he'd sing that song when he'd be drunk, like, and he'd just break down and cry. And I remember that. I'm sure now, I'm sure my older brothers now, like so Tom and Bernie now, I'm sure they probably remember this as well. I remember
that
it.
Song, the little
he had a couple of
wine drinker.
Yeah, but he had a couple of songs.
He had
that one there. Another old song. Who used to sing it? I can't remember the song. Who used to sing it? It was a song there. Noreen Bawn. He used to sing, and he'd break down. He used to sing it. It was actually a lovely song, and he'd sing it. It was only years later when I realised that was the song that he used to sing.
What was that?
But he'd always break down it when he'd get let's say he'd be halfway through it, and all of a sudden then he'd just break down crying.
Yeah. Did you know it?
And it was about no, I don't know the song literally. I know of the song.
Yeah.
I know a couple of the words of the song, but don't ask me to sing it because I cannot sing the song. And he'd sing the same couple of songs every time he come home. Obviously, she remembers this. Do you remember Mother do you remember Leachlands Park Road? Yeah. Well, I'm talking about around that time now. Yeah. And around that time in Leachlands Park Road, Birmingham, and God rest him. And he'd come home, as I said, from the pub, and he'd be obviously talking about his father and stuff like that there. Back then, we wouldn't have a clue. We wouldn't understand, you know what I mean? But it was years later on then when I used to remember this all came back to my mind. And I realised what it was all about then, like, you know what I mean? But obviously, of course, she said there his father was his best friend back then.
Yeah.
Very, very close. And naturally, he took it very, very bad. And then, of course, the way my mother is explaining there, he took it bad because it was so much of a shock to him. It happened so instant. And so, thinking, when I say thinking, put yourself into the picture there. Look how fresh your man he was.
Yeah.
48 years of age. Fine, big, strong, good-looking man. And him having him there every single day, and all of a sudden he takes a pain in his chest, touch wood, and say, God, make it far away from everybody, and rush to hospital. And then, thinking that he was sort of still okay, he went back up to get, say, my mother and my grandmother, which is his mother. And by the time they got back down to the hospital then, just to be told that he was dead. So like it would have took a serious impact in his life as a young man. And then he was the oldest in the family as well then. So that would have been all put on top for him at the same time as well, you know what I mean? So yeah, not a sad memory for me, but the fact that I've been told it and I've learned what happened by through my mother say, it obviously took a serious impact on him then, like, you know what I mean? And then being a young fella as well at the same time, can imagine
the conversation we're having here with your mammy.
Yeah.
Do you have that conversation much?
I do have chats with her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can sit down and have a talk with her and have a chat with her anytime. I feel very, let's say I'm very comfortable talking to her, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's my mother and I love her. And I find it very easy to... Now, we do have arguments as well, right? Yeah, sit down there with her. We do have... We do have arguments, but they're...
Just Helen's going to sit back down. She went down. She's back now for a second.
They're, they'll be petty arguments. I had to say one thing about her. She would always apologise to me, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I never apologise to you. You didn't come to apologise to me.
Do you love him?
I wouldn't apologise to nobody.
Hold on. Do you love him?
Yeah. Love all my family, everyone. The one of them is the same as the other to me.
Yeah.
So
There's no favourites.
No.
She probably loves me, Dean, the same way as I love her. Absolutely.
The
bits, as a fella would say.
So why did you want to do this today?
Today?
Yeah.
Well, it means a lot to me to have her on this podcast today.
Yeah.
She's my mother. She's the first woman on the on the podcast.
You're making me cry twice.
Yeah.
I can see why you love her.
So now you can imagine how many times she made me cry.
Yeah, she's amazing. You're amazing, Helen.
She's very relaxed for a woman on a podcast for the first time. What do you think?
Yeah. No, yeah.
More relaxed than what I was the first time, put it that way.
We had to do 10 episodes with him, so we got relaxed. Like,
yeah.
This is the first one that you're doing, and he's saying that straight away you're in there. There's no messing.
Could it be, Dean, that she's probably looking at us and saying, "Look, why should I be shy of these two little snotty noses?" She didn't know what they're talking about anyway.
Yeah, you had to.
Could it be that?
You can read, but I cannot.
What? Say that again.
You can read, but I cannot. Right.
So you can't read or write. Do you think that held you back?
You don't need to read or write
to
be talkers.
Yeah, man. So.
In what way would it hold her back?
Anyway, in the same way.
It didn't stop her from growing. She's 6'5".
Yeah.
Told a while ago he said about the legs.
I remember I told you earlier on she had a big reputation, boxing reputation, about 30 years ago. Yeah, so that didn't hold her back at all whatsoever. Like Tyson Fury eats her heart out.
She's got 20
you know what I mean? My mother's
kids,
here now.
37, 42 kids.
She has 12 children, is it?
Yeah.
This woman has grandkids are uncountable.
Well,
and great-grand...
Police went out in next month.
Yeah.
I'm having a great-grandchild.
So she's a great-grandmother.
I'm a great-grand already. And I'll be having a great-grand... Is that how you go out? The next month.
She's a grandmother, great-grandmother.
And a great-grandmother.
And she's a great woman in person. Huh?
For the last while, I'm always complaining with my knees, my back. My back is very bad.
Your knees, your back, your head, your nose, your teeth,
everything wrong with me. I come in a broken bucket.
That's too bad. She still has the 4-wheel drive outside the door there. So now it's the one with no engine.
Yeah.
You don't need no tax, no insurance, no license.
But you know when anyone says to me,
and it gets her everywhere.
I say I've already got tax insured.
It gets her everywhere. She doesn't need all that.
No, I don't bother with lifts. Not lift. But with that, I can't walk without it. I can walk around here without it. But if I wanted to walk to Ballymun without it, no, I couldn't. I couldn't walk with my back. My back is so bad.
Saying the truth is, she's 73 years old.
Yeah.
And she thinks she's a young girl.
Yeah. Same as my old mammy. My old mammy is a similar age, and she finds it difficult to get around, but she wants to get around.
She wants to get around.
You know what I mean?
I'm the same.
She won't admit that. She thinks she's about 35 years old, maybe half her age. Honestly.
No, I don't know. Oh, you can't do things like that.
Well, I think it doesn't matter if you're 150 or 40.
Nah, she gets out and about.
You're a great woman.
The way it is, I cannot sit down. I've got to get up. If it's only that half lift, I'd have lifted to clean up or do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Isn't that what Darren came over a while ago and said to me? When I was going over to Johnny's that time and tell, "Oh, Granny," he calls me Granny. "Oh, Granny," he said, "you're walking again," he said. "You're an 8 noon and morning walk, and granddad's to walk around with the cane around there," he said. "When all the other women are sitting on top of the bunks and they won't get up," he said. "I promise you, if it didn't say that to me, Darren said that to me."
Who's that, Darren?
Darren.
Oh, Darren is her...
Now when he comes
he's a great-grandchild, yeah.
Yeah.
Darren is her great-grandson.
Very good. How many have you got? How many...
Oh, I couldn't count.
Did you add them up?
I don't know.
You'd have to take a pen and paper, Dean, to be honest with you.
To get the calculator out.
Yeah. If you had to give her a week's notice, she would have all that counting done.
I'd say there'd be a couple of hundred, I'd say, of grandchildren.
Grandchildren, yeah.
And then maybe 1.5 of great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
And then...
1.5. What's 1.5 mean? That mean 150, is it?
It must be.
Well, hopefully we recorded this and we got all the sound and all the audio, and when then some of them grandchildren are Martin's age,
Yeah.
and they'll be sitting here and watching the videos and listening to your stories, and listening to your memories of 100 years ago, 150 years ago,
Yeah.
when all Irish people was Irish people. And
She's still Irish, Dean. She'll tell you that. She'll tell you no, she doesn't drink lately anyway since my father died. She barely drinks. But when she used to have a few, and if him and her got into a bit of you know what I mean? Bit of a dictation as all young couples do.
Yeah.
she'd say she's Ellie Haney to the backbone.
Ellie Haney.
We used to be stitches with her, so he'd be laughing at her other side.
I tried to vex him, I wouldn't say it was Stokes. I was over here near McDonagh.
And he'd scratch her head and said, "Gee, why didn't I marry a dummy?"
Hey, if I ever get married again, it's married on me.
Yeah. So she couldn't nag back.
He'd all say that.
You know, he had all the one-liners. He was good at them.
He was very good for that. He said to me, his sister-in-law out there, me and him was there one day, and he said to his, Amir better stop the other day to me. And he said to his sister-in-law, she said, well, if I was married to you, she said, I'd give you a python, she said. And but what he said back to her, well, if I was married to you, he said, I'd take it.
She wouldn't have to feed him.
She brought up the other day out there.
Did she? That was a good one though, huh?
If I was married to you, I'd take it.
Thanks very much. It was great looking at you, listening to you. You're a great woman.
Sure, I haven't done it.
So are we finished up this one, Dean, now, yeah?
Let's say we're finished up.
So we're going to say, ladies and gentlemen, Ellie Haney Stokes McDonagh has left the building.
Like Elvis.
It's been a pleasure talking to her.
Go on, the travelling people. Episode 12, the first lady, the first woman.
Yeah.
Strongest woman I've met this year. It's amazing. So that's us for this episode, Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.